Awesome.
I changed it to 720p.
Yeah, and if at any time, like we have material that just keeps going, so I didn't know how long we could get through. So if at any time people want to stop, let me know. I'll just keep going. Because I have no other plans for today. Okay, so where were we? We were doing this. We have two commands, we grep. We actually use grep in the mode of standard input and standard output. I mean, cat is kind of a generic tool that just dumps stuff out. So we catted through like that, and we look for dial and villain and shag and stuff like that. Okay, there's one other program that I have up here on the slide. It is find. Find is kind of like an ls command, except instead of listing, it gives you the whole hierarchy of stuff. So it searches down a tree. This is useful if you have a big old directory full of a whole bunch of stuff and you don't remember where something is. And find has all its own stuff, but I only ever use it to just print directory structure. Let's copy some stuff in, just kind of. So if I ls, I see the files, they go to foo. I see there's another copy of Othello there, because I like Othello, I guess. Maybe I'm mangling one of them. If I run the find command here, if I just do find, it says, I need some help. If I do find, and then if I tell it to search my current place, which I can do with just dot, what find will do is find will list everything in my current directory and everything in every directory inside of mine. So we'll just kind of keep on spidering down. So for example, if I run it here, you get all sorts of stuff, because I have a lot of stuff in my directories. A lot of stuff. But that was not very helpful. But if I run it here, I just get. So it's just another utility. It lists files. It can be useful when tied in with some other programs.
So I see that you have a folder, a directory foo,
Yes.
and it pipes, and it shows you that in foo you only have a copy of Othello, but it doesn't do that for complete.zip. So it doesn't, because zip is an executable file.
Because zip is an archive. So so foo is a directory. It's actually like a folder. Complete.zip, despite a lot of modern operating systems making zip files look like folders, they're actually a little bit different internally. They're just kind of balls of data, like any other file. Like they don't actually contain. They can contain a directory structure, but to access them from the terminal, you need to unzip them first. So like when we unzipped complete.zip, it didn't have any directory, it just had complete.txt. So we'll not go into zip files.
Okay.
Okay, so that is fine. And we can chain this together with our other stuff too. Find dot. And there's find has its own things for finding stuff, but I never use them because I know grep better. So I just use find the list. So grep. I want to see all the Othellos, because for example, like on my home directory, this just printed out tons of stuff, right? Like thousands of lines. And we use the line counter, for example. If I just find my home directory, it's probably going to run for a very long time. And I think there's like, okay. If I ran find, word, this stands for word count. It's counting the number of lines that were coming out of find. There are 363,510 files there. I don't know where Othello is because I forgot where I put it. But what I can do, I can pipe that to Othello, and it'll tell me I have 4 copies of Othello. 1 is in the presentation, and then 3 more are in that shake. One's in the shakes directory that I prepared before I came, and then one's in shaky, which is the one we just did now. And that's 2 copies. So, useful utility for finding stuff. You can probably use like the built-in. Well, I guess if you're using it for connecting gray, you won't have like GUI stuff to use. So you'll have to use this. Okay. It's a command. It's another use for grep. Or word count. You use word count. Okay. Exercise. Okay. Display lines and what they contain now. We already did that. Fine. Okay, so we downloaded a bunch of files. Let's find all the ones that contain the letter A using find and grep. And then display all the lines that make that thing contain sycamore or evermore. So the first one, do we want to go through that again, or you guys feel pretty comfortable with it?
That's fine, and then space dot, pipe, pipe, and then grep, and then another spacing, but what, the 8?
Yeah.
The dot searches in the current directory.
Huh? Dot searches your current directory and all subdirectories. So for you, just try doing find space dot, see what happens. Gives you nothing. Your find must behave a little differently.
I think because I was in gray, and then I switched back to, I changed directory back to shaky. When I did,
Oh, when you download all the files, you were in somewhere else?
I was probably in gray.
Okay, try going back to where the files are. So it behaved correctly, just didn't have the files there. I'm just looking for the letter A. A.
That?
Yeah, that works. Yay! Yeah, I know it's a pretty contrived problem.
Oh, and their name, okay.
Yeah, so it searches the file names.
Okay.
We can download the files again.
Oh, that's what it was.
Are you in Tilda? You were in your home directory? Yep, and I found some other stuff too. You have some other stuff, like dash logout and some other things. Okay, so the last one. We're going to display lines in that contain sycamore or evermore. So one cheat to this, because we haven't done like combining streams or other NASA stuff yet, is you can just try searching for a substring of it. Just search for more. Because doing an or, like getting both of them is gets a little tricky. So just try. So we want, like if we know that we want to search for sycamore and evermore, we're not really worried if there's a little bit of other stuff in there. Just try searching for more.
So it's like find or is it add?
That's going to be so. There's two ways to do this. You can either just use grep and you can do grep more and then the input file, or you can count the input file into grep. You can use a pipe if you want. I use pipes a lot because like then I have to remember less because I have a terrible memory. So I really only remember about 3 features from each of these commands, and then I just chain them together like building something out of terrible Lego. So.
Or that is more. You want to see more evermore.
You have a lot more. Okay. So did I have a better way to do this? I have sycamore or evermore. Maybe I meant and. Let's see what. Because or is actually kind of hard. Because what you can do is you can search for sycamore and then you can search for evermore and just do it in 2 separate commands. That works too. That's a pretty easy way to deal with that. I think I may have tweaked this to make it too hard of a problem.
Wouldn't you be able to do pipe, sycamore, pipe, evermore?
Then we'll find ones that have both in the same line,
Oh,
not in different lines.
not, okay.
So there is a way to do it that's kind of nasty. Michal, I'll show you the or way.
They give me nothing.
Give you nothing. For sycamore, you chain them. Like that. It might be there's no sycamores in there. So I did the wrong thing. Maybe I meant to do Hamlet. Let's find out.
Yeah, it wasn't giving me anything. I don't think there.
Nothing evermore.
Okay. Let's do something.
Oh, because I went down to 720p, can you make the font like 2 sizes larger? All right, there we go.
So in Othello, I was trying to trick you, apparently. I'll fall off my chair
How would we change the Othello again?
now.
How would you change back to Othello?
Change it back to Othello?
Yeah. Try to get to use another.
So they're all in the same directory. So you just change the file name you're using as an input. So cat, Othello, well, it says Othello's not there. Huh. So do like an ls. Actually, just run the find command again. Let's do a find command for Othello. So it tells us that Othello is in the current directory. So if we cat Othello, try using tab completion. It helps us like cat space, or type cat space, OTH, and then tab. Okay, there it is. So that's the whole Othello play. And then if you want, you could pipe it to grep, and then grep it. Yay, okay.
Did you more?
Yeah, search for Sycamore.
I don't want to jump too far
Uh-huh.
ahead, but could you show us how to search for both in Othello?
Yep.
In one end?
So if you wanted to search for both, there are a few ways we can do it. One way is, remember that little arrow thing? We can pipe it to a file.
You said Sycamore, everyone was in Othello?
Yeah, they're each there once, but they're not there on the same line.
For some reason I didn't.
Everyone was twice.
Those are twice.
So
When
you always
you-
cat. Cat and.
So cat Othello. These seem to be the little hints, like just the letter O and then tab might be enough. Yep, and then pipe it to grep. And then whatever you want to look for, so Sycamore. Oh, yep. So we want to do both, using just the stuff we have right now. What we can do is cat Othello to Sycamore, and we can do what's called piping. So output Othello, grep Sycamore, to output that text. Yay! And then we also want to look for Evermore, right? And this one, if you just have one arrow, it'll replace whatever file is there. If you do two arrows, it'll add it to the end. So what we've done is we've gotten Sycamore, and then we got the Evermore lines after it.
And it puts it in that order. Whatever you do second comes at the end.
Yeah, so it'll put it together. So if you want to maintain the original order, we've got to invoke something a little more oomph.
Well, yeah. It doesn't have to be.
We only have to use a regular expression is one way, or what's another way? So
We were learning wildcards, but I don't know.
yeah, regular expressions are kind of like wildcards on steroids. Like wildcards, so many more features. But I don't know if grep supports wildcards. Man, grep. No, not built into it. So that's one way. Like you can. The simplest way you can solve a problem usually works out pretty well. So mostly I do this kind of stuff a lot.
With the slow long way.
Hmm?
The slow.
The way that might involve more running more commands
Yeah.
because I don't have to think as much to try and do it.
That's
Because like there's some fancy way. Like I could probably do this with
yeah.
so. I wonder if cat will take back to some. Oh, I didn't like that. Ignore that. I'm going to try and do something stupid. So let's move on to something else. Regular expression.